Hello, wizards. How are you doing today? Today I'm going to share about the challenges with isolation and loneliness that we experience during the dark night of the soul. Right? So if you're on your spiritual awakening journey and if you have been going through the dark night of the soul phase, then you probably have been experiencing a lot of loneliness, a lot of disconnect, a lot of isolation that is happening to us as we are moving forward in the awakening journey. Now, it sometimes become really overwhelming and you maybe ask yourself, why is this happening to me? Why am I so isolated? Why do I feel this massive disconnect with everyone around me? And why do I feel so lonely? Right? And it can become very dark and very troublesome, very exhausting, especially during the dark night of the soul when we are experiencing a lot of purging, a lot of, losing our densities, coming out of our older version, all of that, the ascension symptoms happening. And when we really feel the struggle and suffering, and when we cannot share with other people, this isolation can become really challenging for us, right? So if you are experiencing something like that, I'm going to share why this happens, what is the purpose of this isolation, what is the purpose of the loneliness that we experience during the dark night of the soul, and how you can navigate through this, because it all has a purpose. It's not something that is happening to, for your detriment. It has a purpose. It is happening because we are up leveling, and I'm going to share all about that. Okay. So when I was going through my dark night of the soul, especially my second dark night of the soul, when it began in 2019 and it lasted till mid 2020, I experienced the very same things, the loneliness, the isolation and everything. And the dark night of the soul is a very dark period. It's a very dark period. It's a period of intense release, and that release sometimes feels like suffering, right? So when one is going through that, and when one feels that disconnect, that isolation, it feels really terrible. And I can feel you if you're going through this. And it's not an easy place to be at. It's not an easy place to go through. And I know that, and I really feel you. And if you're going through this, the first thing that I would like to share with you is that you are not alone. You are not the only one who is going through this, because when you're going through something like this, it's the first thought that comes to our head. I have felt and I have thought in the exact same lines also, that why this is happening to me, why everyone around me, the normal people, they are living their normal lives, they're doing their normal things, people are active, busy, doing everything, moving forward in their life, and here I am suffering, here I am, going through this darkness alone, and I cannot share what is going through me, what I am experiencing, to anybody, not to my family, not to my closest friends, not to anybody, because nobody will get me. And that makes one feel really, really alone. One feels that, they are the only one who is going through this, right? So the first thing that I would like to share with you is that you are not alone. You are not alone. And if you are feeling that way, don't judge yourself, because I felt that way, but it still is the truth that you are not the only one who is going through this. There's a whole lot of us who are up leveling. There's a whole lot of us in various different places, all over the world. We are up leveling, we are moving to higher stages of consciousness, we are ascending to the fourth density and the fifth density and higher up. And as we ascend, we experience the dark night of the soul, and as we ascend, we experience this darkness, this purging process. See, the dark night of the soul is so dark. It's because we are purging. It's because we are losing density, because we are literally coming out of our older version and arriving at the new. We are leaving the older paradigm, the old versions operating belief systems and everything, the old personality, and we are reincarnating in this almost very life in the same body at a higher vibrational stage of consciousness. All of that is a big process. It's a huge process, you see. And that is why there's a lot of energetic changes happening, integrations happening, downloads happening, many things happening, which is creating this overwhelm. And on top of it, the isolation feels terrible. So if you're feeling this way, you're feeling depressed, if you're feeling anxious, you're feeling sad, you're feeling negative, you do not need to judge yourself, because that is part of the journey. I have felt all of that, and yet I have known that after coming out of the dark night of the soul, that I was not the only one. There were a whole lot in different parts of the world. They were going through the same thing. If my words are resonating with you, that means you know that I know that what you're going through. That means that you are not alone. Okay, you're not alone in this. A lot of us are going through this. Problem is, see, the problem is this. That is, when I was going through my dark night of the soul, there was nobody around me. And even now, there's almost nobody in my physical vicinity who was going through the same thing. Okay? Not even near the same thing. Okay? And that is the main problem. When you do not have people in your physical vicinity, the place you live, your family, your friends, your connections, one nowhere near to the stage of consciousness where you are at, it feels very lonely. It feels that you are the only one. But this is what I found out. This is what I found out. That when I came out of the dark night of the soul, and yes, you do come out of the dark night of the soul. It is not an eternal suffering. No, it ends. It sometimes is very prolonged. Okay? But it ends because it's a journey. And every journey comes to an end. Okay? It's a part of the up-leveling journey, and it is here for you to ascend to higher stages of consciousness after the purging is done, after the release of the densities are done, after you have a up level to the new paradigm, and then the dark night of the soul does end. So do not feel that it's going to go on eternally. No, that doesn't happen, because I know that thought does come, right? And as I was mentioning, that the trouble happens when you have nobody in your physical vicinity to connect with. That is when the real trouble happens, because you feel that you are alone. But when I came out of my dark night of the soul, when I started receiving the download, started ascending to the fourth density stage of consciousness, started receiving all that it was about, this new version, and that was when my inner guidance led to all the connections, which was all there, that I could not see before, you see, because I didn't have a clue what was happening. So when I started coming out as who I am, I started, finding out people who are also going through the same thing, who are also ascending, the light workers, the people who are up leveling, and in the internet, it becomes so much easy to connect with people who are going through the same thing. You see, one of the things that I have found out in my journey is that those who are awakening, those who are up leveling, they are almost, I don't know for sure, but they're almost always at very different parts of the world. Okay, I'm from India. If you don't know already, I'm from India. And nobody almost in my near physical vicinity is going through what I'm going, or I at least don't know. Okay, but I have friends, I have people, I have students, I have people that I know who are in different parts of the world, who are exactly there where I am at, almost there where I'm at, or beyond where I'm at. With people that like them, I can find so much connections, and they feel like, like my soul family. And this is the thing. This is the reality. Us light workers, we are up leveling, and we are placed at different parts of the world. So it becomes really troublesome to connect with people in physical vicinity. But in digital vicinity, online, where you have much easier access to other people, you will find out that there are so many people who are going through the same thing, and then you will not feel so alone. You are not going to feel that you are the one who is going through this alone, that the universe has chosen you for you to suffer. No, that is not the thing. A lot of people are going through this. Okay, if you find out some groups like Facebook groups, light workers group, you will find so many people who are on the same journey. And suddenly you find that, yes, you are not alone, right? And one of the main, most important wisdom that I'd like to share with you that I have found in my awakening journey, and this is what I share with anybody who is going through the dark night of the soul, is this, that you are not alone. Even if you do not find connections digitally, physically, even then you are not alone, because you are never alone in this spiritual journey. Your higher self, your higher self is always right within you, always connected with you 24/7, every single moment, here for you, guiding you in the spiritual awakening journey. So those moments when you feel that, um, I am alone, there's nobody to help me, there's nobody to guide me who is going to, help me through this, you are never alone. Never. If you just center yourself, come back to yourself, connect with yourself, become still, you will feel the presence of your higher self, your divine essence, constantly speaking to you, guiding you so that it can help you navigate through the dark night of the soul. And that is what I experienced in my journey too. That my dark night of the soul was just essentially, it was many things, but essentially it was the platform, it was the opportunity for me to develop my connect, establish my connect with my divine guidance system, with my inner guru, with my higher self, which is right within me, which was always right within me. That connection was not there. And the dark night of the soul for me paved the way for me to connect with my divine guidance system. It was a it was like a catalytic moment. The dark night of the soul acted as a catalyst so that I can turn inwards and connect with my divine essence. And that is what I found out. I found out that yes, my higher self resides right within me, and it is constantly guiding me so that I can make the right choices, move to through the dark night of the soul and ascend. It's always right within you. So never alone. You're never alone. You see, because this video is about isolation and loneliness. This is the thing. You are never isolated. You're never alone, because your higher self is always with you. If your higher self is always with you, how can you be alone? It doesn't make sense, right? And that is the truth. Once this truth is fully realized, you will never feel alone. And one of the things that happens after you come out of the dark night of the soul is that you recognize the power of solitude. Okay, and solitude is very different from loneliness. You see, probably I'll talk more about the power of solitude in another video, but you recognize that you can maintain your harmony and you can maintain your balance, and you are peaceful, you can be blissful, you can be fulfilled, and you can be completely expansive within yourself, by yourself. And that happens, and that is powerful. That is just powerful and magnificent. Solitude is not loneliness. Solitude is being in peace and bliss and in harmony with yourself, because you know that your higher self is always within you. You're never alone. You're in solitude, right? That's a different thing. Okay, so if you want to know how to connect with your divine guidance system, see, connecting with your divine guidance system is one of the main things that I teach, because I know that if you're going through your dark night of the soul, if you're going through a spiritual awakening journey, it is the most important thing. It has been the most important thing for me, and that is why I teach that. If you want to connect with your divine guidance system, then this weekend I'm hosting a 90 minutes free masterclass session on Zoom live directly with me, where I will teach you how to connect with your divine guidance system. I'm going to share with you my inner audit method. It's a 2 minutes practice that will help you pay attention to the signals of your higher self, pay attention to the signal of your divine guidance system. I'm going to share all about that. I'm going to share how to align with your highest timeline, where you will accelerate in your spiritual growth journey, and you will also allow all the abundance that you are here to experience. I'm going to share all about that in the 90 minutes masterclass, right? So if you want to attend my masterclass, just visit the sign up page in the link in the description of my video. Find out the exact date and time for this week's masterclass. If you're watching this video at a later date, I'm hosting this masterclass sessions almost every week now. So probably this masterclass is still happening this week. Visit the sign up page for knowing about the exact date and time for this week masterclass and just sign up. Once you sign up, you're going to get a confirmation mail in your email. Check your promotions folder in your Gmail or wherever so that you do not miss my confirmation mail. Sometimes it goes to the promotions folder and you miss it. So I don't want you to miss that. Okay. And if you're somebody who wants to have a private interaction with me, then I am providing, offering 45 to 60 minutes one-on-one spiritual integration sessions. If you want to have that with me, just reach out to me, send me an inquiry in my email. My email is in the description of my YouTube video. If you're going through the spiritual awakening journey and the dark night of the soul, and if you are going through the hermit phase of the spiritual awakening journey, then I have uploaded a video on what this hermit phase is about. Watch that video in the card section of this section here. Click here and know about what is the hermit phase, because it's one of the important stage of the spiritual awakening journey where we feel a lot of isolation, a lot of loneliness, but it is still a very important phase of the spiritual awakening journey. So know about this, click here. And if you have enjoyed this video, give this video a like, share it with your friends, and I'll see you again soon. Have fun. Bye-bye.